Hello and welcome back. Again, my name is Greg, and I'd like to welcome you to configuring a QEMU VM device in GNS3. Um, in this video, I'm going to show you how to install a ASA. So basically, to do so, it's very similar to the iOS router setup. Not the exact same, but similar. So we'll go and hit New. Um, the We'll select the type, which in this case is ASA 8.4.2. Go and hit Next. Leave everything the same until you get to the next screen, which is right here. So right here we got to add our initial RAM disk and our kernel image files. So we browse, that's under the C GNS3 images QEMU folder structure. So we'll go and hit, or I should say double click on the first one and double click on the second one. That adds those in. And we hit finish. If you haven't already done so, you have to create a flash file for ASA, and I created these instructions on how to do so. So if you pause the video and follow these directions, it will tell you how to do that. When you have your flash file created and you have it moved to the directory that your ASA images are at, restart the video. Alright, welcome back. Alright, so now we got our flash created. Let's go ahead and install it inside the ASA. So you go into Edit and go under Hard Drive and then Browse, and that's this flash file right here, or browse to wherever you created it and put it. And we'll go and hit OK. The other thing I do, well, before we do that, the other thing I do is go to Advanced Settings and I uncheck this Activate CPU Throttling, which I haven't really used it, but I've heard other people say it could cause problems with running ASA inside GNS3. So we'll go and hit OK and apply to that. And that's pretty much it for adding an ASA device into GNS3. At this point, let's go ahead and load that up real quick. If you go to Security Devices, and we'll go and start that, and then open up our Super Putty. I'll watch this come up. And from it in here, you'll see the flash getting initialized before it actually gets to the login prompt. Or I should say user mode. At this point, I will say that I don't show you how to actually load actual keys, because if I did, you would see what my key is and you'd have my key. So I will go through the steps on how to do a load of your crypto keys, though, once this is done. So right there, as you see, it says initializing partition HDA1. So it does that the first time, and that's that flash drive you just created. Okay, so we're at the user prompt. Basically, let me scroll up here and show you. After you load your crypto key, it will show up right here And basically, based on what key you purchased, it'll tell you various things like for instance under failover, you'll say active active. Under VPN and DES, it will say enabled, and same with others down here. And depending on which key you purchase from Cisco will determine whether it's enabled or disabled. So let's go ahead and log in, and to do so, it's just similar as a router to log in. You just enable, and there's no password. So basically, to load your keys, you just go into config T. I usually hit no to this. And then from right here, you paste in the key that you purchased from Cisco. At this point, after you've done that, it will, and hit enter, it will take a second for it to load, and then it'll ask you to confirm the keys and or each key, and you want to paste each key in separate. So some people paste both in, but you can run into errors because you have to confirm it. So do them one at a time, confirm them one at a time, and then when you're done, exit out, or I should say end out, and do a copy, run start. And then at that point, you can copy it to your flash, and your flash is, if you do a dir, you'll see your flash disk right here that we created. And if you do a copy, I should say start FL for flash, it copies your startup config. So if you do a dir again, it shows up in that directory. So pretty much the only thing I will add is that you may want to create a project at this point. Either you could save this right now as a project, or create another project and add one or two or three ASAs depending on how many you want to run. And add your keys, because if you don't, and you don't save it as a project, they go away. It's not like an iOS or IOU or ASA image that sticks. It goes away. So so the only way to make it stay is to save it in a project file and restore it. And then you can save it as a template, and then modify it, and save it as a different, add in more devices and then save it as a different file. So that way you won't have to reload your keys, because it can take about 20 minutes after you've saved those keys, and then you want to do a reload. And let it reload to load up the keys, because like I said, that can take 15-20 minutes for it to do that. And then once you've done that, and after it's booted, you'll see that these have changed from disabled to enabled, and like I said, active for failover, and so on and so forth. And that pretty much is it for configuring, or at least getting your ASA ready to be configured to be used in a topology. So that's pretty much it for the ASA. In the next video, I'll show you how to load a router, or I should say an IOU router, an IOU switch, and VirtualBox appliances into GNS3. All right, well, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.